Minutes now past 3 o'clock, and our first hard fact for today is it's Ash Wednesday. A blessed Ash Wednesday to all the Catholic Christian hard facts listeners who are observing Lent. I hope the show is not one of the things that you are giving up on or that you're giving up for Lent. Please don't give up my show for Lent. Second hard fact of the day, 10 new COVID confirmations yesterday. None of those from Lagos, but keep taking your precautions. Wash your hands as often as you can. Wear your mask when you're going out, when you're around people. Give gap, keep your distance. Wash and sanitize. Everybody sanitize. Hey. Third hard fact of the day, it's 5 days until the return of I Beg to Differ. My God, I'm excited. Are you excited? Because I am. I really, really am. Like, I'm even excited because of all the magic that will happen today. But 5 days away. 5 days. I can't wait, honestly.
Good day, honorable judges, my moderator, timekeeper, my fellow co-debater. My name is Sandra Ezekwesili. I'm 13 years old.
The auditions are over. Now it's time to debate.
The whole concept of democracy is a comment hearing
The I Beg to Differ debate tournament returns to your radio on Monday, March 7th.
I strongly concur that the barbaric and outdated
16 secondary school students made the cut.
For example, if you look at Cameroon, what's happening right now is
But now, to stay in the game, they'll have to go head to head.
the full meaning of a job means joining other businesses. But how?
No second chances, win or go home.
What if AI is the end of the world? What if? What if it will cause the end of the world?
Until we have one winner, 1 million naira. Join me, Sandra Ezekwesili, my panel of judges, and my great debaters, Mondays to Thursdays, live at 4 p.m. on 99.3 Nigeria Info. And catch the replay the next day from 4 p.m. on Wazobia Max TV, showing on DSTV Go TV, Star Times, and on UHF Channel 57.
This tournament is brought to you in partnership with Paystack, supported by Printivo.
That's right. I Beg to Differ round of 16 starts Monday at 4. And today we will find out who the last two debaters in the top 16 will be. But more on that later. If you witness a story or a news event that you want Lagos to know about, call us on 01465-7175. I always say that 1 million Lagosians cannot be wrong. So if you think it's news, it probably is. I have a great show for you today. We'll start with the big three. Let's talk about Nigerian women protesting at the National Assembly over rejected constitutional amendments. Then, let's talk about the Petroleum Minister leaving the country during a fuel shortage. And then, let's talk about CUPP criticizing INEC for deregistering parties. There's no glass ceiling today. Instead, at 4 o'clock, we're going to have the I Beg to Differ playoffs. 4 debaters, 2 spots in the last 16. Actually, 2 debaters, because the 4th debater pulled out. Her parents did not give her permission to be a part of the debate. So, unfortunately, she pulled out. I think that they should have told us earlier. We just found out today when we're calling to confirm that they were on their way. If they knew that they were not going to make it, I wish that they had called us early, because we've been communicating with them for 2 weeks now. You would have given another kid a chance to be on this thing, because there are so many kids who were really good and they're on the wait list and they submitted all the things they needed to submit. And they really wanted to be a part of this. I think it was rude of the girls' teachers, the girls' handlers, the parents as well, to not let us know that the child will not be participating, because it just robbed another child of a chance to be a part of this. But hey, it's the other kids' luck. It's their happy day. It's their lucky day, because they walk on over into the live shows next week. So congratulations to Victor, who hopefully joins us in the studio, so at least he can see the studio and then go home. But yeah, no glass ceiling. We'll bring you the playoffs from 4 o'clock. On Balogun and Broad, let's talk about Lagos Ride. What does it mean for e-hailing drivers? I'll have two e-hailing drivers in the studio with me, as well as the national president of PETPA in the studio, speaking with me on this subject. Expect news, business, and sports at the top of the hour every hour. But let's get started with today's Big Three. Like I said, I am Sandra Ezekwesili, and these are your hard facts.
This is the Big Three.
The Big Three.
On Hard Facts. On 99.3 Nigeria Info.
Why did the National Assembly reject the pro-women amendments? Why did the Petroleum Minister travel abroad without addressing the fuel scarcity? Is Wike's welfare scheme social? Is it a stomach infrastructure by another name? We'll talk about that. I'll tell you why we're talking about that, because those are your Big Three, Lagos. Let's talk. The National Assembly said no to women yesterday. That's our first story. The big news was the National Assembly voting on multiple constitutional amendment provisions. A lot of them sailed through, like financial autonomy for state judiciaries and legislatures, but others failed, like federal control over VAT. But more controversial was the National Assembly refusing to pass a lot of amendments aimed at improving women's rights. For example, one failed amendment would have given women the right to confer citizenship to their foreign husbands. You know that right now, only men can do that for their wives. A Nigerian woman cannot confer her citizenship to her husband. Another amendment would have created reserved seats for women in all legislative chambers. And the amendments got voted down. And now lots of Nigerian women are not taking it silently. Today, they organized a protest at the National Assembly complex dubbed Women Occupy NASS. Joining me is the Executive Director of EIE. EIE, one of the organizers of the protest, Yemi Adamulekun. Welcome to Hard Facts.
Hi, Sandra. How are you?
I'm very well. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thank you.
How did the protest go? I know that you were not there, but your organization was one of the organizers. How did it go?
I think it went well to the degree that women came out.
Okay.
As far as I know, I've been offline. I'm just checking. The leadership hasn't shown up as was demanded.
Okay.
The women are still at the National Assembly, but it's just I don't know. I don't even know why we have to do this.
Yeah, me and you both. Which particular amendments would you say people are most agitated about?
I mean, it depends on the camp. I think for the women who are political and who've spent years pushing for increased representation, especially in government, particularly in our parliament, I think the reserved seats was a huge blow. And especially because the House of Rep bill was co-sponsored by the Speaker and over 100 other House of Rep members. So that level of support ab initio already gave a lot of hope that, okay, at least in the household, this thing will pass. And then there are those who, for things like you mentioned, like citizenship. I mean, my husband is Swiss. My husband cannot become Nigerian. Meanwhile, if a Nigerian man marries a Swiss chick, she's automatically a Nigerian. And I don't understand. In 2022. Yeah. And then obviously diaspora voting is also a big one for some people. Yeah. And that obviously, that cuts across, that affects women and men. But if 50% of Nigerians are women, if we're half-half, then we can also say that diasporans are half women as well. So you're cutting them off the process. Yeah. But it's really just with the impunity and the brazenness that the National Assembly just basically said, you people are quite irrelevant. We don't send.
What do you think the messaging is to Nigerian women if we're telling them in 2022 that if you're a Nigerian woman and you marry a foreigner, that foreigner is a foreigner, that foreigner isn't Nigerian. But if you're a Nigerian man and if you marry a foreigner, she's Nigerian. What are we saying to Nigerian women when we do that, when we say that, when we don't pass amendments that can change that?
Well, you don't count. We don't reckon with you. Like, you're not. Second, I mean, as someone will say, you're a second-class citizen. You're not entitled. We don't see you as an equal, and therefore you're not entitled to the equal benefits that come to being a Nigerian. That's really what they're saying, and they're saying it. I mean, I think it's just every time I think about it, I'm just like, and they're saying it with their full chest. As in, literally. Yeah. Do your work. Yeah. Meanwhile, women make up the most of political parties. They're the one who oil the structure of political parties. They're the one who are at rallies. They're the one who vote. Women come out to vote a lot more than men. So the influence and the role that women play can't be underestimated. One of the ladies at the protest today, Sandra Ezekwesili of Windows, was talking about that even in the business sector, research has shown that when you have women at the table, or when you have women in leadership positions, that the return of investment is higher. So this is not sentiment. It's not we think. It's not we want. It's not we are begging.
It's data.
Facts.
It's hard
Research,
facts.
data.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sandra. Data. So if with the data, and then, another thing that puzzles me with this thing is that men born of women, you are not born of a goat or a dog or a man. A woman carried you for 9 months, gave birth to you, breastfed you. And some men, you don't touch their mothers. Don't touch their mothers at all, as in they will go to war for their mothers. Then there's obviously that their Aunt Daddy and their girls, their Aunt Daddy's girls. So I don't understand how these same men will then sit in the National Assembly and be doing rubbish. I mean, be just, okay, I'm on radio, let me matter. And just be acting like juveniles. I don't get it. You were born of a woman. You are likely married to a woman. Well, you could not be, or whatever. Okay, really that topic. You are likely married to a woman.
Mm-hmm.
You might have daughters. You have aunties. You have nieces. You have, for those who are so inclined, have close friends that are women. But then you sit and you say, no, you people are not equal. You people cannot have because we say so. But I mean, those who are in Abuja, I mean, what we. Anyway, it's bad, Sandra.
Now, but we also heard reports yesterday that lawmakers said that the supporters of the amendments did not lobby hard enough. What do you think about that, especially given what you said earlier on, that the Speaker of the House co-sponsored this bill, and it had over 100 of the people in the House of Reps, at least, lending their weight to this thing. So again, where's the talk of didn't lobby hard enough coming from?
I mean, unless the definition of lobbying hard enough is mean that you didn't share sufficient money, and if that's what they're saying, then yeah, the person is right. But if lobbying hard enough is not that women who've been working on this thing for 10, 20 years, haven't written papers, protested, engaged, had meetings. Look, we go to these extra seats because men in the National Assembly basically said, no, we're not sharing our seats. We're not giving you 35% quota, as some other countries do. That your National Assembly must have 35% women, which would mean the parties need to allow women or need to give women seats to run so they can be 35% to the National Assembly. They were very adamant. No, we're not doing that one. But we can create extra seats for you. And that's why we ended up with the extra seats and reserved seats for women. So after all that lobbying, all that negotiating, all the co-sponsoring with all this and all that. Mind you, there are 7 women, if I'm not mistaken, in the House of Reps out of 360. So I don't know anybody that's blaming women for not lobbying. I don't know what you want 7 women in 360 to do. When over 100 men co-sponsored this bill and still. So I don't understand what they mean by lobbying hard enough. And I'm sorry though, but which one is lobbying? In 2022, I should be begging you to see me as an equal. Are we all not well?
I should be begging you to let me give my citizenship to my husband.
My husband, exactly. Otherwise, I mean, obviously, we're all not well.
Do you mind if I ask if you have children and if your children are Nigerian citizens as a result of you being Nigerian?
Yes. Well, I'm not speaking for myself specifically, but yeah, if you're a Nigerian citizen, then your children will be Nigerian automatically.
Okay. So at least they're letting us confer to the children, just not the husband.
Yeah. If at least one parent is Nigerian, then you can.
The children can be okay. Now, in the past, with amendments like Not Too Young to Run, there seemed to be more conversation and buzz in the public space than we had about this particular set of pro-women amendments. Is it because these amendments were part of a much larger constitutional amendment package, so it was easy for the public to lose track? Or I don't know, what do you think happened here?
That's a really good point. I think generally a couple of things. I think one, what you've said, that the whole constitutional amendment process was large. I think secondly, in terms of the women's groups, they focus a lot more in terms of sort of negotiating at the table.
Okay.
So rather than just making noise outside and shouting, there was a lot more engagement, a lot more, let's sit in a room. What is it? What can give? What can we agree to? What is it that you're willing to do? So I think there was a lot more of that than just outside in terms of how we even got to the point. Because, it's not everything that was proposed that even got to the point that they are voting on it. So to get it to the point where they were voting on it, a lot had gone into that process. And I think also, unfortunately, the electoral bill might have overshadowed constitutional amendments for a bit, because there was a lot of buzz because we're coming into election. So the president not signing the bill took a lot of media airtime as well. And then the electoral bill is sort of one piece of legislature, but the constitutional amendments were 68. So the last retreat they had was just February 4th. So the final work on, okay, this is the language, now this is what we're going to vote on, was a lot more of a tedious process. So a lot of people, and I don't think, in fairness, the media didn't carry it as much as they should have. And then lastly, for the ones that have to do with women, I do recognize that some people are not really so inclined as to reserve seats. But these ones around indigenship, citizenship, percentage of political participation, percentage of appointments, they don't elicit as much across the board as much of a response as they should. But I think now that they've said no, and people are now really pausing to think about, wait a minute, what was this about? And then you think about, so if I say, we're amending the national amendment to grant citizenship to men. Like if you hear that, you probably keep it moving as in it's not. But if I tell you that it means that if you marry someone from Ghana, no, not Ghana, so we have ECOWAS. If you marry someone from Kenya, they cannot be a citizen or marry. So I think when you put it in terms that people can relate to on a personal level, people are now pausing and saying, wait a minute, how does this make sense?
Why is this happening? Do we have a breakdown of which lawmakers voted for and against which provisions? Do we have that?
We will. The speaker has said we should basically put it in writing and they'll release it. But that's also the beautiful thing about constitutional amendments. Most of our voting in the National Assembly, and something we've advocated for 7 years, is voice vote. All in favor say aye, aye. All in favor say nay, nay. So you don't know who voted or whatever. But because the constitutional amendment requires that 2/3 of the National Assembly must pass it, they then must vote. So you know who. So we can count. We must be able to count yay and nay. Doesn't work.
Yeah.
We must be able to count it.
Yeah.
So we will get a breakdown of who.
Now, what's going to happen next? What's the next step for reviving these bills, for giving them another chance?
Well, two things. One, the demand now that's still on the table is that we want the bills brought back. So we want a negotiation and say, basically, you know what? Okay, you said you know to all these things. What can we agree to disagree on? And then you will bring it back and you will vote on it again.
Okay.
And then we'll move on from there. That's number one.
Okay.
Number two, naming and shaming. All the people that then vote against women, clear message, you are not coming back. Okay. And that cry will hopefully go through from Abuja to every state, every senator, every House of Rep member that voted, when the list comes out, that voted against these bills that support women, including diaspora voting. And I cannot stress that one enough. The message will be clear. You are not coming back.
Okay. All right, then. All right. Thank you so much for talking to us on the show.
Before I go, really quickly, sorry, Sandra.
Yeah.
If you don't know who represents you and you want to put your own pressure, so people ask, what can I do? Call your senator, call your House of Rep member, as a woman or as a man, and say, Biko, in Nigeria in 2022, this is not what I sent you to the National Assembly to go and do. If you don't know who represents you, go to shineyoureye.org. shineyoureye.org. You'll find a list of all their numbers, email addresses of all the senators and National Assembly or House of Rep members.
All right. Yemi is the Executive Director of EIE. EIE is Enough is Enough. Thank you so much for talking to us on Hard Facts.
Thank you, Sam.
Lagos, let's talk. What do you think about this protest? Do you support it? Do you oppose it? 0700-993-993. You can also share your thoughts with us via Facebook. Facebook is Nigeria Info 99.3. We have WhatsApp. WhatsApp is 080-959-75805. And of course, there's Twitter at Nigeria Info FM. By the way, at 5 o'clock, you can win 5,000 naira in the Nigeria Info Treasure Hunt. To join the hunt, all you need to do is download our app. That's the first thing you do. Go to your Play Store, download the app, then open the Nigeria Info app and search anywhere for the treasure. The treasure today is a picture of the National Theatre. If you're the first person to get it, you're going to get 5,000 naira. It will start at 5 on the dot. 5 o'clock, you don't start. Once you see the picture of the National Theatre, click it, fill your details in correctly, and submit. The first person to find it wins. Good luck. Remember, you can only participate in the treasure hunt via the Nigeria Info app. Only. No WhatsApp, no Facebook, no Twitter, just the app. So first things first, go and download the app. You can download the app via your Play Store. Any of the Play Stores available. We'll take a break in a bit. When we come back, we'll take your calls on the conversation I just had with the Executive Director of EIE, Yemi Adamolekun. And of course, we'll also talk about our Petroleum Minister being abroad while we are trying to find fuel. Do you have fuel? I'm Sandra Ezekwesili. Don't go away. Call us back if you can. 0700-993-993-993. If you just tuned in, our first story took us to the National Assembly. They said no to women yesterday. Ironic that March is International Women's Month. And here we have our National Assembly choosing the first day of the month to say, no, we don't think women are equal citizens of Nigeria. That's why your citizenship cannot be conferred upon a man that you marry who is not Nigerian. But anyways, the National Assembly voted on multiple constitutional amendments. A lot of them sailed through: financial autonomy for state judiciaries and legislatures, but some failed, like federal government control over VAT. The most controversial ones were the amendments targeted at improving women's rights. So I told you about the amendments that would have given women the right to confer citizenship to their foreign husbands. Only men can do that in Nigeria. A woman cannot do that. Another amendment would have created reserved seats for women in all legislative chambers. And those amendments got voted down. Nigerian women took to the streets of Abuja, to protest it. 99.3, hello.
Good afternoon, Sandra.
Good afternoon, how are you?
From Rodogban Mohammed Ibrahim calling.
Welcome, go ahead.
Then what is going to be the seat for the youth or people? Look, the women should go into politics and let them vote for themselves. If you look at our political circle during election, vote of women are even more populated than the men. Why are women not supporting men? And we just want to create a particular that. What if we said, okay, 2 people from a particular state, from which zone in that state will that woman come from? Then there will even be more problem than what we are seeing. So women should go for themselves and vote for themselves. It's very, very simple. If women come together and say, this is our own, it will happen. How many times are women contesting elections and nobody is voting for them? Let us not just be joking. To me, it's in form of joking.
What do you think about the fact that a Nigerian woman cannot give her citizenship to her husband?
And that is where I even fought it. I wrote it on my Facebook page, and I said the National Assembly members they failed in that regard.
Thank you very much for calling. 99.3, hello.
Yeah, Queen Sandra, I greet you.
I greet you too. What's your name, sir?
Yeah, Alaba is my name.
Alaba, welcome.
Sandra, I'm saying this in 2 ways. First of all, I think Comrade Ogbanago Mohammed has spoken my mind in 1 way. Sandra, I'm calling on you too, you personally, and Wemimo, when it's time for election, you ladies should participate in election. You ladies always give excuse. The kind of excuse that you give, that is where you are trying to deprive yourself your right. Nobody, you always say this thing, that nobody will give you power. You have to fight for power. So you women in Nigeria, look at the EIA woman that you called earlier on. Look at the way she spoke. She spoke as if they will come and give them. No. Nobody will give them platter of gold. You have to fight for it. You have the numbers. If they look the population of Nigeria today, you women, after youth, the women carry another chunk of it. So fight for your right during election time. Don't stay much in the studio. Tell Wemimo and others too. Don't stay much in the studio when it's election time. Fight. Let us see most of you in the action. So that is it. And then the second one concerning this situation, I think they help those women. Like I want to say this concerning that. Look, if they allow that woman, they allow us now to claim Nigeria. Sandra, we don't have much in. The one we have is not even enough for we men to share. So let them claim where they come from and allow us to continue with our own life. That is my contribution this afternoon.
Thank you very much for contributing. My job is really hard. I swear it's really hard because it's difficult to rein what I really want to say in. You know what I mean? 99.3. Hello.
Hello, good afternoon, Sandra.
Good afternoon. What's your name?
Ezedum from Surulere.
All right, Ezedum. Let me hear it.
Sandra, I love the women. I love whatever that will benefit women.
Sure.
But let me tell you this. I don't support the bill. Those people that are protesting in the National Assembly, they should go back. Why are they not protesting that their children are at home? Let me tell you, Sandra. I have advocated on this platform that if we must give women a slot in the National Assembly, we do it well. We cannot increase our overhead expenditure now when we are calling for the implementation of Orosina reports, because we are a poor country. Sandra, I have said it here on this platform that if we mandate every state to produce one woman, it will be better. Those people that are dating, they do not know you well. If the tone of the constitution will be that three states from a state that one must be a woman, it will be constitutional. So every state will go and know how they will produce a woman as a senator. I cannot support increasing the number of senators per state to 4.
Do you support converting the existing seats?
Yes.
So they can convert the existing seats and make them women's seats. Do you support that?
Yeah, you see, Sandra,
it's a simple question. It's a simple question.
I am not a feminist. I am not.
You don't need to be a feminist. I'm just asking a simple question. Do you support Ezedum? It's a simple question. You say we don't want overhead to increase. I agree with you. The existing seats, do you think they should be converted and made women's seats? Some of them. Okay.
Yes. If they lobby well and get National Assembly to change the tune of the Constitution that 3 senators from a state, one must be a woman.
All right. Thank you very much for calling. We've got Victor from Philadelphia who says Nigeria is just like a comedy arena, but unfortunately it's a reality. Petroleum Minister isn't in the country while the citizens are suffering to get the same product. All right, Victor. Sandra, let it be known to you that the Minister of Petroleum is preparing for healthy retirement. Waiting concern about a headache. If you don't have fuel, that's your problem. Benga Nikorodu says. Sandra, the Nigerian constitution is not gender-based. Nigerian women should contest for political office based on their individual strength. You didn't leave your name, but thanks for your message. Why are women looking for special reserved political positions when they can get it by themselves? They didn't get special considerations to excel in academics, in workplaces, in others. Can they not form political parties for women alone and contest for positions? And with their advantage numbers, they will get these positions. Emmanuel from Amuodofing. So why are we doing zoning now? Why are we not just everybody enter into the arena? You know, whoever can vote the most should vote it. Why are we doing 2/3 must elect you? Why are we not doing it by population? Because we know that life isn't fair. And so every time as a society, you try to level the playing field. No one is saying hand it to anybody over on a platter. People are simply calling for a leveling of the playing field. Your 2 major political parties have not come out to say, oh, this is where we're zoning our presidency to. You know why? Because if they zone it to a particular place, it will be a problem. And that's why they're being very careful. They're trying their very best to ensure that they do it in a way that seems fair. It may not be fair, but it would seem fair. We understand it when it's politics. We understand it when it's, Igbo people are being marginalized, or Yoruba people are being marginalized, or Ogoni people are being marginalized. We understand it. But once it's women, you start saying nonsense like, go and open your political party. Let's move on to our second story. The petrol scarcity is biting, and now the Petroleum Minister has left the country. President Muhammadu Buhari, who is also his own Minister of Petroleum, is gone to Kenya for the 50th anniversary of UNEP. After the special session in Nairobi, he's heading to the UK for a medical checkup, which may last up to 2 weeks. All of that is according to his media aide, Femi Adesina. We didn't hear from President Buhari directly. We heard from Femi Adesina. Now, that's the first point that I want us to focus on. So let's focus on that first. Now, of course, I don't need to tell you that we are in the middle of a terrible fuel shortage. And the reasons given for the shortage simply don't appear to rhyme with the facts on the ground. So, yes, the shortage started because of contaminated supply, but it's been over 2 weeks, and the NNPC, the sole importer, has still not replaced that bad supply. Meanwhile, the NNPC is insisting that it already has the petrol in stock. The two things do not make sense at all at the same time. And we've heard from the NNPC apologizing and promising that it will soon be over. We've also heard from the junior minister, Timothy Silva, promising to catch and punish those who are responsible. But after hearing from both of them, we're still queuing up for fuel. And the question is, even if we will not hear from Muhammadu Buhari, the president, shouldn't we by now have heard from Muhammadu Buhari, the oil minister, in person, explaining why this is happening, telling us the specific actions being taken, and giving us a clear timeline? And what message does he send to Nigerians if the petroleum minister jets out of the country in the middle of a scarcity without talking to Nigerians? Was it necessary for the president to attend the INEC meeting? Could he have sent his vice president, for example? How would you grade the petroleum minister's handling of the fuel scarcity, Lagos? And what's the situation like in your area? 01465 7190 0700 993 993 993. Hello, thanks for calling.
Sandra, good afternoon, ma.
Good afternoon. What's your name, sir?
This is Mr. Frank calling from Odala, about the Vice President of Asfa.
All right, Mr. Frank, you've got 1 minute.
Okay, because of the 1 minute now, the president, because that the fuel doesn't concern him, he has the one that he's using, and that will be enough for him. And that is why he doesn't care to fight for the night, to bring fuel for Nigerians. Number two, are you getting me?
I'm getting you.
Is there any time any woman has come outside in this Nigeria to contest for any election or House of Rep or House of Senate, and the INEC denies them tickets? That's a question. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for calling. 99.3, hello.
Hey, Sandra.
Good to have you on the show, sir. What's your name?
My name is Kelvin.
Hey, my guy. Welcome.
I was just laughing where I was. I think we need to have some deep thought before we make some of these calls. Can you tell somebody that is doing his own job to live there and go and do the woman's job to contest for political office? Because sometimes when I listen to some Nigerians, I don't know how we get our thoughts before we come on air to speak some of these things. Well, that's not what I want to do, so I will not get distracted. You see, for now, Nigerians get used with the kind of president we have. If you have not used with him yet, I'm sorry for you. You'll be living in Disneyland. The president we have now, get used to him. He does not speak to us. He's snobbish, and there are some things he has been doing recently that makes it clear that he does not give a damn.
But we're not looking for the president. We're looking for the Minister of Petroleum now.
He is the Minister of Petroleum.
Yeah, so we don't want the president. We want the minister.
He is the president. As we speak now, today, I've said it on this platform. He has not said a word in terms of apologizing to Nigerians as Minister of Petroleum. And as we speak today, nobody has gone down for this malady we are facing. Nobody, no single person, both from any NPC or from any of those agencies. So, if we are not used to this man now, I'm sorry, Sandra. I'm sorry. Thank you.
Thank you very much for calling. We've got Fidelis on the line. Hi, Fidelis. Where are you calling us from?
I'm calling you from Ghana. Good afternoon, Sandra.
Good afternoon, Fidelis. Welcome.
Sandra, you see the set of people we have as leaders. You can imagine in the midst of fuel crisis, the Minister of Petroleum is nowhere to be found. I wonder what a country we have. Thank you and God bless you.
Bless you as well. Thank you very much for calling. For our third story, we're looking at some of the big political and election-related stories of the day. APC won a by-election in Cross River State last week, but the PDP is accusing them and INEC of cheating. INEC declared APC's Jude Ngaji the winner over PDP's Mike Usibe in the race for the empty House of Reps seat for Ogoja and Yala constituency. But the state PDP insists that Ngaji got help from INEC officials. Specifically, they're accusing National Commissioner Festus Okoye of colluding with Ben Ayade, the state governor, to help the APC win. They also claim that the INEC official in charge of ICT, one Mr. Toyin, conspired to hide the BVAS machines to be used in the election. PDP are now asking for the voter accreditation data on the BVAS machines to be compared to the official records from the election. This Ogoja Yala by-election, it was very hot too. Before the voting, Rivers Governor Nyesom Wike and other PDP bigwigs were in Cross River. They insisted that their party would win, but I guess that it didn't quite work out for them the way they had hoped, the way they had planned. Speaking of Wike, he made a statement about state funds that some people are interpreting as a plan for stomach infrastructure. Wike said that for the past 7 years, he has been focusing on infrastructure projects to make the state attractive to investors. But that now he's switching gears to focus on welfare programs to empower Rivers State people directly. But his critics are saying that this is Wike's plan to buy votes for the PDP in the upcoming general election by flooding the state with so-called empowerment projects that are really just a way to share money. What do you think? Do you agree or disagree? Do you think that social welfare programs in Nigeria are just a way for politicians to buy votes? What do you think about PDP's outcry over the Cross River by-election? 01465-7190 for women. For men, 0700-993-993-993. Oh, by the way, at 4 o'clock today, we'll have 2 debaters join us live on the show. There was supposed to be 4, but one of them waited until today when we called to let us know that they will not be participating. Her parents did not give her permission to participate. I wish that they called us sooner so that we would have organized for another child to take that one's place, because lots of children, 243 children auditioned, and a lot of them were really good. So that one spot could have gone to someone else who would have done it, who really wanted to do it. But they waited until the day of the event, and they waited until we called them to say, oh, are you still coming? To now say, oh, we're not coming, because... And we've been in talks with them. We've been sending emails back and forth. 99.3. Hello.
Hello.
Thanks for calling. What's your name?
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. What's your name, sir?
Hello, good afternoon.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, this is Lion House from Ijegun.
Lion House, welcome. Go ahead.
Lion House from Ijegun.
I can hear you, Lion House. Go ahead.
Yeah, concerning the Petroleum Minister that traveled to Kenya from there to UK for medical treatment. He has told you that he can go anytime he likes. So he can rule Nigeria from many parts of the world. So that's number one fact. Number two, we should not see him as our number one citizen again. So he's telling you that everybody should carry his own cross by himself.
All right, thank you very much for your message. Let's go to WhatsApp and see the messages that we have there. WhatsApp is 080-959-75805. All right. This message here, Sandra, my name is Chimezie from Fort Collins. The president always seizes every opportunity to leave the country. I wonder why you have a vice president if he cannot represent you in some of these meetings. All these trips cost millions of taxpayers' money. See, the Chinese president hasn't left China in almost 2 years. It's saddening that we got ourselves in this situation. I'm sure he's definitely going to miss office because of the constant free traveling that he enjoyed during his time. Sandra, the current elected women we have across the federation, do they have 2 heads? Let women get involved in politics and come out to be elected instead of blackmailing the men as if it's a gender war, as some women are making it look. That's Tunji from Akoka. You people are funny. Do you know why? The Constitution insists on federal character. The Constitution ensures that every state is equally represented so that there will be no discrimination. Because we know that discrimination happens along ethnic lines. We didn't say, oh, why is the constitution handing power to every zone and state on a platter of gold? Any state that wants power, they should take it. We didn't say that. There's never been a time when an Igbo person wanting to contest for presidency was stopped. Never. It has never happened. We've always had Igbo presidential candidates. And yet, right now, a lot of Igbo people, a lot of them who have called me, are insisting that when it comes to the presidency, they are marginalized. And they're asking for zoning. So like I said, everybody understands that marginalization can happen and that it calls for special mechanisms to protect the marginalized group. Women can't even confer citizenship to their foreign husbands. If that's not a clear example of marginalization, you're pretending to be asleep. And I'm sorry, I'm not going to bother to wake up somebody that is pretending to be asleep, because that person will not wake up. Participating in politics means that you are using your political strength to vote for those who support you and vote against those who oppose you. So if we say that women say that they won't vote for lawmakers who oppose these bills, how is that blackmail? But like I said, today is not the day that I waste my energy on something you already know, but are pretending to not know because it benefits you to pretend that you don't know these things. Today is the day that I sit down and I hear your opinions. So give me a call on 0700 993 993. Sandra, tell your last caller. Sorry, I've lost that message. Fatima from Ogun State says the president should not have left the country in the middle of this crisis. What he is doing is showing that he does not care. All right, Fatima, thanks for your message. Let's see, we've got messages on Twitter. Miss Chi says, Sandra, shouldn't Buhari travel for a pre-scheduled event? How many times have you probed the performance of other ministers like Labour, Finance, Humanitarian, Science and Tech, etc.? The EU leaders that met yesterday in Brussels also have pressing issues at home. Miss Chi, you're being ridiculous because all the time we're probing other ministers. So just say you don't listen to the show when we're doing it. Okay? Okay. Didi says, it's very sad. The whole country and businesses are almost closing down because of fuel scarcity. The Minister of Petroleum and the President doesn't care enough to say a word, but jets out. Nadozie on Twitter says, Sandra, as you're clamoring for women inclusion in NASS, please remember that the northern women do not share the same view as the South. Also, some religions, traditions, and cultures clearly do not support gender equality, hence the lack of support for women from themselves. All right, thanks for your message. Imafidon Joseph on Twitter says, Sandra, do you know that this fuel wahala does not affect government officials? Hence, the Honorable Minister can travel abroad without addressing the issues. Okay, we've got more messages coming in. Yusuf from Surulere says, how about Sandra? The Minister of Petroleum has not done anything unusual. He has only gone to the place where he can communicate with us effectively. Just be on the lookout. He will grant an interview very soon to a foreign news media and address us. He needs to be in a position and location where he can speak. All right, Yusuf. Thank you for that funny message. The president has given up on governance. Manny from Houston says he made himself a lame duck when he said he couldn't wait to leave the office. The man has no anger in him. He doesn't care anymore. He has reached I can't kill myself mode. All right. More messages here. Sandra, the bill for more women in the National Assembly is a good move in the wrong way. Nigeria is a country passing through economic and financial imbalance. Why do the women want to increase the number of people in both chambers? But what you do in a situation like that, you don't shut it down. You say, okay, no, let's rework this arrangement. Then I can pass it. You don't just kill it. But anyways, let's take a break. When we come back, we'll bring you I Beg to Differ. Don't go away.
More conversation, more talk, more right after this.
99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.